Hello everyone, I am Dr. Kiranmayi, Area Chair and Assistant Professor, Digital Transformation and Operations, School of Business, Aditya University. In this present lecture, I am going to discuss how to solve the games using dominance property. Let me tell you when we use this dominance property and what is the purpose of using this dominance property. So, when we have m by n or n by n games, okay, and when these games do not have saddle point, okay, so in order to reduce order of the matrix or to transform the given m by n or n by n game to 2 by 2 game, that is to reduce order of the matrix, we have one technique in game theory which is called dominance property. Okay, so using dominance property, least row will be deleted and greatest column will be deleted. The column which is greater is said to be dominating column and the row which is least is said to be the row which is dominating. Okay, so least row will be deleted, greater column will be deleted. So, which column or which row is to be deleted? So, let me explain how to use this dominance property. So, first we have to check across from different rows. So, we have to compare two rows. Let us compare first row and second row. So, the element every first element of first row must be compared with first element of the second row. Second element of first row must be compared with second element of the second row. So, this is how we have to compare the rows. Okay, let us compare A1 and A2. So, 3 is less than 5, 5 is less than 6, but here see 4 is greater than 2. So, few elements of A1 is lesser and third element is greater. So, here we cannot identify which row is more than which row. Okay, so here we cannot apply dominance principle. Let us compare A to A3. So, if we compare A to A3, 5 2, 5 is greater, 6 1, 6 is greater, 2 4, again 4 is greater. If we compare 4 0, 4 is greater. Okay, but one element is lesser. Again here also we cannot select which row is dominating and which row is to be deleted. Okay, let us compare A3, A4. So, if we compare 2 3, 2 is lesser, 1 3, 1 is lesser, 4 5, 4 is lesser, 0 2, 0 is less. Therefore, row 3 is less than row 4. Therefore, we can delete R3. We can say that R3 is dominating R4. Therefore, we have to delete R3. Okay. So, after deleting R3, this will be the resultant matrix. And again, you can continue by comparing the rows or else you can even compare the columns. So, let us move on to comparison of the columns, right. If we compare first column and second column, maximum greatest column is to be deleted. Okay, compare 3 and 5, 5 is greater, 5 and 6, 6 is greater, 3 and 3 equal. So, here it is not exactly we can select which row or which column is to be deleted. Let us move on to the comparison of other columns. B2, B3, let us compare. 5 4, 5 is greater, 6 2, 6 is greater, 3 5, 5 is greater. Here also we cannot identify which column is dominating. Let us compare B3, B4. So, 4 2, 4 is greater, 2 4, 4 is greater. Here also we cannot identify which column is dominating. Let us compare B2 and B4. So, these different combinations you have to use to identify which column is dominating, right. Let us consider the combination, let us compare B2 and B4 columns. So, 5 2, 5 is greater, 6 4, 6 is greater, 3 2, 3 is greater. Therefore, we can say that C2 is dominating C4 since C2 is greater than C4. Here I will give you one small clue. So, you may get doubt why greatest column is to be deleted, why lesser row is to be deleted, or you may not be able to remember, right. So, no need to by heart these properties. Only one thing, basic thing you keep in your mind, that rows represents profits for the player A, columns represents losses for the player B. So, always losses are to be minimized, that is maximum loss to be eliminated. Profits always we want to maximize, therefore, lesser profits are to be deleted. That is why lesser row will be deleted, greatest columns will be deleted, right. So, this basic concept you can remember to identify which row or which column is dominating. Okay. Therefore, here B2 is greater than B4, therefore, B2 is said to be dominating B4, therefore, we delete C2. Okay. And the resultant matrix is going to be this one after deleting B2 column, that is C2 column, right. Again, we can compare all the columns like this, like you can compare B1, B3, B3, B4 or B1, B4. So, let us consider B1 and B4, that is column 1 and column 4. 3, 2, 3 is maximum, 5, 4, 5 is maximum, 3, 2, 3 is maximum. Therefore, we can say that column 1 is greater than column 4, that is column 1 is dominating. Therefore, delete column 1. Therefore, the resultant matrix will be this one after deleting column 1. Okay. And now, we have 2 columns and 3 rows. Now, let us compare the columns. If we compare the rows, if we compare first row, second row, 4, 2, 2 is lesser, 2, 4, 2 is lesser. So, here we cannot make the decision which row is to be deleted. Next, compare these two, that is row 2, row 4. Okay. 2, 5, 2 is lesser, 4 to 2 is lesser. So, here also it is not possible. Next, compare row 1, row 3. Okay. 4, 5, 4 is lesser, 2, 2 equal. Therefore, we can say row 1 is less than row, that is A4, or you can say A1 is less than A4. Therefore, A1 must be deleted, row 1 must be deleted, this one, and the resultant matrix is going to be this one. Now, we know how to solve the game, which 2 by 2 game. Let us solve this 2 by 2 game now. So, difference 5 minus 2, 3, 4 minus 2, 2. Therefore, it is 3 by 3 plus 2, that is 3 by 5. It is 2 by 3 plus 2, that is 2 by 5. So, 3 by 5 for player A, optimal strategy for player A is 3 by 5, comma 2 by 5. There is no saddle point, therefore, the players are said to be using mixed strategies. Okay. Next, likewise for player B, 4 minus 2 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, it is 2 by 5, it is 3 by 5. For player B, the optimal strategies are 2 by 5 and 3 by 5. And the next thing, we have to find value of the game. Value of the game is going to be 2 into 3 by 5 plus 5 into 2 by 5. That is 5, 2, 3 is 6 by 5, 10 by 5, that is 16 by 5 is value of game, which is not equal to 0. Therefore, the game is not zero sum game, it is not fair game. So, this is how we can solve m by n games using dominance property. We can reduce to 2 by 2 game and we can solve the game in this model. So, this is how we can use dominance property. By the end of this lecture, we have understood how to identify which row is dominating, which column is dominating, and when to use dominance property. So, basically dominance property is used to reduce order of the matrix, and using this dominance property we can identify which row dominating, which column is dominating, and how to solve the m by n game or n by n game we have understood by the end of this lecture. Thank you.